setting up an ergonomic workstation is something that it starts with a couple of key components. Then the first one is going to be the understanding that your body position is more important than your equipment. So when we're sitting, we're going to need to be able to get into an ideal seated posture. So to do that, we need to check out what the full range of motion in our spine is when we're seated, and then differentiate a neutral position for the spine. So first mobility exercise we're going to do is going to be very simple. It's going to look just like this. We're going to sit up nice and tall in the position where we are bringing our chest forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually look to extend our spine as far as we can, and then at the same time, tuck our chin. As we do that, we're going to open the palms of our hands and we're going to point them towards the sides of the room. So what this is going to do is going to open our chest and tuck our chin. So this is our fully extended position for our spine. Then we're going to go into the fully flexed position of our spine. So what we're going to do is we're going to round our body and look up with our chin and round our shoulders by turning our arms inward, just like this. And now we're going to go back to our opening starting position. So opening the chest, extending the spine, and tucking the chin. So keeping the eyes looking forward. Then we're going to round the spine, just like that. And again, eyes are going to stay looking up here. And come into extension. This is starting number 3. We're going to do 5. And round the spine, look up. Good. And extend the spine, tuck the chin. Perfect. There's 4. And round the spine, look up. And extend the spine, tuck the chin. And 1 more. Round the spine and look up. So this second position here, you can relax. This second position here is that reminiscent of what bad posture looks like, right? A round spine, chin up, looking at our screen just like this. So what we want to do is to start to create a neutral position of the spine. So to do that, we want to find the spot in between those two extremes. Putting your hands on your hips. Imagine like your hips are a bowl of soup, and you don't want to allow the soup to pour out of the bowl in the back or the soup to pour out of the bowl in the front. So finding that spot where your hips are facing towards the ceiling, just like this. From this position, this is our neutral seated posture. Now we need to put our equipment in a position that allows us to maintain this position. That means that our keyboard, mouse, laptop, anything that we're going to be using with our hands wants to be in a position where it's right in our lap. Okay, so elbows at 90 degrees and equipment right in front of us, just like this. This is going to allow us to not fall into a bad posture because of the position of our arms. If we're reaching out for the things that we're using, we're going to tend to fall backwards because our brain is going to say, hey, there's a big load out in front of us, so we're going to send our center of gravity backwards to accommodate that. So everything as close to you as possible here. As far as your monitor position, what you're going to want to do is create a position where you have your monitor directly in front of you. So the idea is that you don't want to have to rotate your body or move your head in order to be able to see your monitor. You want to make sure that your top line of your screen is approximately at eye level, which means that you're having a slightly downward gaze with your eyes as you work. And if you have if you wear glasses or if you are in a position where you need to accommodate for visual distance, you want to make sure that your monitor is somewhere between about your arm's length away from your body and the position that is focused for you. There should be no glare on your monitor. So that means that if you are positioned in a place where you have exterior windows, you want to be perpendicular to those windows so there's no glare. You don't want to be backlit or forelit by your monitor. And you also want to make sure that you're not in a position where overhead lighting is causing a glare. The other thing, Really simple one is to just make sure that your monitor is clean. What will happen is that if your monitor has a bunch of fingerprints and stuff on it, you'll tend to have to lean forward to be able to see what you're doing. All of that being said, a sitting posture while working is a fairly unfavorable one. So one of the things that I talk about a lot is that sitting is correlated with a lot of disability, disease, and issues. So one of the things that we don't really give a lot of attention to in healthcare is the fact that sitting has a growing body of evidence that's been growing for about 20 years, saying that it is very detrimental to health. Research shows that sitting for more than 3 to 6 hours per day is correlated with obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and the musculoskeletal stuff that I deal with as a chiropractor, the neck pain, back pain, those types of things. So sitting is something that we want to try to push you away from doing. And when you are sitting, you want to be in a good spot where you're in that neutral spine position, but you want to try to sit less. Another statistic that I often tell people is that people with sedentary jobs, so desk jobs, between the ages of 45 and 64 are 40% more likely to end up in a nursing home during retirement, which is a huge issue when you look at especially the cost of public health and also the actual quality of life when you finally make it to retirement. To be disabled because of sitting too much is a really, really unfortunate situation. So a standing workstation is definitely going to be a more favorable position. And so when we switch to a standing workstation, we want to make sure that we use the appropriate cueing. So when you're standing, instead of worrying about our hip position, we're going to worry about the position of our chin. So we're going to imagine as we are standing that our chin is tucked and we are getting as tall as we can be. A standing workstation is going to follow the same rules as a seated workstation, meaning that when you are standing, your position wants to be as close to you as possible with your equipment, and that your monitor wants to be in the same appropriate position. One other thing, if you're doing any type of document reading as a part of your workstation or the part of the main tasks for your work, you want to make sure that that document is at roughly the same location as where your monitor would be. If you wear bifocal glasses, make sure that the position of your monitor matches what allows you to maintain a neutral position as you read your screen. Next thing we're going to do is go through a little bit of a mobility exercise for the full spine, and this is going to help us to start to identify where neutral posture lives. So it's going to look very similar to what we did in the seated position. I invite you all to stand up. And again, you don't need to be framed perfectly by your camera, but what we're looking for here is to create that full spine extension position, just like this. And then we're going to create that full spine rounding position, just like that, okay? So extend the spine, open the arms, tuck the chin, and round the spine, and extend the neck, and round those arms inward. There's one. Now we're going to open the chest, extend, tuck the chin, and round and extend the neck. You're looking upward. And open the chest, tuck the chin. Perfect. Palms go out. And round the arms, round the spine, look up. Perfect. That's 3. Oh, extend the neck, tuck the chin, open the arms, and round the spine, extend the neck. Perfect. And open the chest, tuck the chin. Excellent. This is 5. We're going to do 10. And round, extend the neck. Beautiful. And open the chest, tuck the chin. Perfect. And round and extend. Excellent. And back to opening the chest. Beautiful. And round. Excellent. 2 more. Extend the spine, tuck the chin, and round and extend the neck. Beautiful. And last one, opening the chest and tucking the chin and then rounding. Beautiful. Perfect. So you can take a seat. The big key for setting up a standing workstation is that you want to make sure that you match the tasks that you're doing to the position of your workstation. So if using an input device, so using your keyboard, mouse, laptop, is going to be a main component of what you're going to be doing, then you're going to want to make sure that you create a workstation that is at the appropriate height to allow you to maintain that elbows at 90 degrees position. So to do that, you can use a very simple, this is just a box prop, to allow you to create the appropriate height for an input device workstation. Now, you can see how this is not a favorable position for me to do video chatting. So if I were to do something where I am now doing mostly video chatting as the component of my work that I'm going to design my workstation for, I'll use a slightly taller prop that will allow me to be framed appropriately by my camera so that I can stand and not be in a position where it's an uncomfortable sort of framing for when I'm doing my video chatting work. Standing workstations do require a little bit of something soft for you to be able to stand on. That can either be a pair of shoes, any type of yoga mat, or a simple kitchen towel or anything like that to be able to make sure that you're able to have some sustainability in standing for an extended period. And again, it's all about staying tall when you're in a standing position.